and most startling scenes from the entire movie, and yet Mattel only decided to release one of the damaged racers, and that was Mood Springs here, aka Chuck Armstrong, in the 2010 Final Lap collection. And if you want this guy now, you're gonna have to fork over about $200 because he is super rare. If you'd like to see my review of him, you can check out the description below or the card suggestion pop-up in the top right corner. But anyway, this is Mattel's only real damaged racer from that scene. And why didn't they release it? It's because we already love NASCAR, or maybe it's the cool colors. I don't know, but yeah, I'm definitely included in one of the many lovers of these piston cut racers. So thankfully out there, we have customizers, people who take the stuff that Mattel releases and makes other stuff that they didn't release. And that's exactly what 4-Wheel Drive 7 did with all of these damaged racers. And I'll put a link to his Google Plus profile in the description, along with an email if you want to contact him inquiring about making some customs, because he is a great customizer and I've already reviewed a bunch on my channel. For example, the Statue of Liberty. I mean, how can you beat that? Maybe this actually can beat that, but we'll have to see by the end of the video. So in this video, I've been trying to actually make this video for a while. I've wanted to, and I just have been really busy. So now that it's summer, I'm super happy to have time to make this video because I have been looking forward to it for a while. I know you guys have been asking me constantly to make this, especially about, I don't know, 6 months ago when I really showed them in a live stream or something like that. So here we are. I'm going to review all of these. I'm going to compare them side by side to their undamaged counterparts, and we're going to see exactly the damage that was inflicted. So first and foremost, here we have Chuck Armstrong racing for Mood Springs. We're going to start with him because, like I just talked about, he was actually released by Mattel. Now, as you can see, because of that, his expression is changed and is super distorted, but 4-Wheel Drive didn't really do too many different expressions, and that's completely understandable because it's very hard to actually change the eyes and the mouth, and the determined expression still kind of makes sense. He did, though, change some of them, and we'll get to those, of course. You can just kind of see how probably Chuck was the victim, the worst victim of the crash, just because he got bent so much. This whole part of him is pushed out. Really ridiculous there, but yeah. I mean, somebody had to take the brunt of it. You did see him in the crash, sliding alongside the pavement. And I'll put some pictures on the screen to refresh your memory of that. And also probably a really iconic part of it was when Race Tow Truck Tom was towing Chuck out of the race, and he's like, "Don't take me out, I can still race." And I love how you can actually recreate that with these two cars. They connect just by that little hook up there. So that's pretty cool, actually. I like that a lot. Now let's move on to Aiken Axler racing for Nitrowade here. This guy, fortunately, his roof is dented inward, so probably a car hit him on top, and cars were flying all over the place, so that was not unusual. He's really scratched up though, looking fantastic. Like I said, 4-Wheel Drive 7 did a fantastic job later, and while I'm showing all these, definitely think about which one is your favorite. Let's move on now to Slider Petrowski racing for Sidewall Shine. This guy did actually have an expression change a little bit here, so I like that. The mouth is the same though. Looks like part of his spoiler just got completely removed. And what I also really like that 4-Wheel Drive did is, since all the cars were pushing up against each other, hitting each other, the paint stains, the chips and everything would be imprinted, or some of the paint would be left on the other car. So you can see he could have hit shifty drug or no stall here, and that's how he got the red paint. This looks like some blue just completely scratched off. He probably scratched up against the side of some more blue as well. So that's just some nice detailing that 4-Wheel Drive added to a bunch of them. Even the tires a little bent out of shape, so that's really cool. I mean, how you even remove the spoiler, destroying the entire car. So that's pretty sweet. Not one of my favorites, but definitely a very realistic interpretation of what could have happened. Next up, here we have Paunchy Wipeout number 90 racing for Bumper Save. And this one is actually one of my favorites because of some other details that he added besides the crash damage. Those being the black outline around the windshield there and the blue trim around the black rims, which I'm pretty sure are both movie accurate. So those are some nice things that he added there. Of course, the damage is a little bit more refined here as well, more contained, because he's not like missing part of his spoiler. I guess he was more lucky. You just have some like scratches, some paint that was left over from the other cars. Looks pretty sweet. I like this guy a lot. I think he is probably in my top 5 favorites from 4-Wheel Drive 7, but I haven't looked at these guys in a while to finally be giving them some more attention because they definitely deserve it. Alright, moving on now to Floyd Mulvihill racing for Gasprin. Another one that had a expression change or a slight change, just kind of made the eyes a little bit more squinty because he's probably in a lot of pain right now. This one does still roll a little bit, but the back tire is a little messed up. You got some scratches on the side here, some green red paint. I really like this detail here, how like this whole part is just shaved off. You can kind of see that. So a car must... Fantastic work. This is one of the racers that actually is still racing in Cars 3, so at least we know that he survived the crash. Even though I'm sure they all survived, but man, Chuck Armstrong, he really took a beating there. Alright, who should we go for next? We're going to go over to the left here with Ralph Carlo racing for Little Torquey Piston. Blue trim to the red rims, making him more movie accurate. The eye expression looks a little different, looks nice. Some more like dents and scratches there. I like how like the paint was like blurred that way. It just looks so good. Some parts are just very, very well done, as if Mattel actually did them. Looking nice, beat up. 117's almost completely gone from the roof there. Wow, looks awesome. Now, I think this is probably a good time for me to talk about some channel updates since I'm just showing these cars and not really talking about like their appearance because we are opening out the reviews, kind of ignoring what's to come. By the way, this one's really cool because it has missing tires. He's riding on the rims. But anyway, I do plan on changing my channel a lot in the upcoming month. I want to do a lot of different stuff on my channel, including of cars reviews, but a lot more stuff as well that has to do with Disney in general, the parks, Star Wars maybe, but probably more so Marvel and just like Disney, Pixar, and the parks. So like Disney World and Disneyland. Maybe even go into like the international parks, but since I'm more familiar with the ones here in the US, I'll be dealing with them. And I just love the parks so much. I go to Disney World every year because it's just my passion. It's what I enjoy. Moving on to Billy Oil Changer, by the way, for realistic if you look at the movie, just because of the scratches on the side. And that's really all that was changed. And look, this Octane Gain is like a completely different color. That's so weird. But yeah, I really do want to change a lot of things. And it's for the better, guys. Don't worry. I'm going to have some new channel art. It's going to look fantastic. And I hope you guys don't leave me. I think you'll really enjoy what's to come. I also will be changing my channel name, which is probably the most important thing to talk about because when I do change it, a bunch of people will get confused. Disney blank. I don't know what the third word will be yet, but it'll most likely start with a D, and it'll be something pretty cool so it has a nice ring to it. I want to do DD because of alliteration. It's just something that sounds better when you... 5 will be the starting thing that I'll carry over from RC Cars. Just removing the cars portion to make it more general and broad to just Disney in general. So I just want you guys to be aware of that and just know that's coming. So when I do change it, you guys aren't surprised or you're not confused or anything like that. I will probably make a whole video dealing about this and saying like, I'm changing my name to this. So it's very clear and I don't lose any support because of the fact that you just don't really recognize me anymore, even though I doubt that would really happen. But it's something that I am concerned about slightly. This is Darren Leadfoot, racing for Shiny Wax. This one actually is one of the newer ones that 4-Wheel Drive 7 has done. I had him like do like a bunch way back, or maybe like he already had those done. I just bought them from him, and then I asked him to do some more last year around. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in regards to the new channel motif, the new era of my channel. It'll be like a reset. I don't know how to explain it. Just don't be afraid. Don't be too worried about what's to come, because I think you guys will really like it. Here's another new one that he did. Sage Vanderspin, racing for Gaskets. Most of the damage on this one's in the back. Like, look at this. This is all cut up. That's pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of the damage is in the back here. On the side there as well, this is like all pushed off the base. That's so cool. If you haven't already noticed, I've been trying to save even more of my favorites for the end of the video, and probably some of your more so favorites as well, like the Apple car right there. I've like been avoiding him, and you guys are like, come on, show him. Very soon, very soon. Here we have Greg Camp. Rubber tires are all spread out. I don't mean like a newer version of Greg, it's just one of the newer customs from 4-Wheel Drive 7. I like how the spoiler's bent backwards. Fantastic display. Like, when I do my entire collection video again, which will hopefully be at max 2 parts at least, and I'll show you guys my display of this, and I think it looks really good. It's one of my favorite parts of my collection just because of how awesome it looks. So that's it for Greg. Now let's move on to who else? Alright, we'll do this little bunching over here. We got Dirksen D'Agostino, racing for Trunk Fresh. This one is probably one of my least favorites, but it's still pretty cool. He's just got a lot of damage around the mouth there. Eye expression's a little different. Poor Dirksen, he really got a beating though too. This is all like bent up. Wow. But yeah, you guys can expect these changes coming in the next couple of weeks or so, and the new content in maybe 3 weeks or something like that. Oh, it's gonna be a big change for me as well, trying to produce like such a variety of content, because all the time I just come up here, sit down in the same spot, think about the same thing, same topic, and just, you know, record like normal. But now I'm gonna have to change my mindset. I'm gonna be thinking about, oh, it's time to talk about The Incredibles. Oh, now it's time to talk about the Avengers, you know, stuff like that. Lee Revkins here for Transberry Juice. This is another one of my favorites because of the wheels. I like they added that pink trim. The eyes also look pretty good. He looks like he's in pain. No damage on this side, actually. Lucky guy. But here's all the damage. There's also a little bit on his roof. Alright, last of the, I don't know, I wouldn't say boring ones, but the ones that aren't as cool maybe as Apple or the centerpiece here. And yeah, here we have Ernie Gearson for Spearmint. Expression change. And he really just got hammered, T-boned from the side. It's like, bam, right there. So this wheel's a little loose here. Yeah, he really just got hit on this side pretty hard. That's all scratched off. I almost feel bad for these guys just looking at them. And this was all because of Chick Hicks and his greed to win, even though he didn't end up winning. At least that race, he won the second one, I'll give him that, but yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the really cool ones, at least in my opinion. We have Matthew Overtaker, aka Mac Icar, aka just the really, really cool Apple Racer. So this one's really well done in my opinion. He's got most of his damage again in the back. So it looks like he probably got hit on an angle toward that way. So this got pushed up. That's all black. This tire's a little messed up here. Just look how realistic that looks. I love it. I love all the black around the edges of him because that just makes sense, right? I like the little smear there. Looks really good. This is a factory custom Apple, by the way. It's not the real deal. my real deal is packaged away in a box because I don't want like anything. I need to put it in a safe, like a bulletproof, bomb-proof safe. And then I'll feel secure. I'll be able to sleep at night if I'm able to do that. And here are the masterpieces, the centerpiece of my display here. And this is, of course, a very iconic scene when Leakless, Claude Scruggs, got pushed on top of Todd Marcus racing for no stall. And they look just like this. 4-Wheel Drive 7 did change the expression. All of Leakless's wheels are like pushed in, so that looks really cool. I love it. He did a fantastic job with these. They just look so awesome. And hold on, let me get the normal versions out here. We have the normal Todd and the normal Leakless. God, this is how they were like, yeah, I'm ready for this race. And now they're like, oh my God, what the heck is happening now? We're just flying on top of each other. How's that even possible? I think Mattel was very close to actually releasing these damaged racers, but I think they were coming close to. They did release a 2-pack with No Stall and Leakless, and the picture on the card back was of them on top of each other, but they were just the regular versions, not the crashed version. And also, Leakless does have a couple other damaged versions from 4-Wheel Drive 7. These are the two that I have that I don't display because I display this one. This one's pretty nice. He's really scratched up. He still rolls and everything. He's just super. He's missing the 2 back tires. And he has the black outline, which I find pretty sweet. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And now you have to let me know, out of all of these damaged racers, which one is your favorite? Now, Mood Springs does not count. It has to be one of the custom ones. I think my favorite's also my favorite, just regular racers as well. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe it's because they were released late and Mattel put them up on a pedestal and they're like, these are the ones that'll be super rare and you'll have to pay thousands to get. And maybe that's why they're my favorites. But I don't really know. I just really like them. So